Hello and welcome back. I know it's been a while since I made a video last, and this video is not really a music video, but another building video. This particular video, we're gonna be focused on making a three-dimensional layered MDF sign without a CNC machine. For this project, I'll be using a hand router, a jigsaw, a drill. I'll be using a projector, which you'll be seeing in a short bit, just to project the image onto the board itself so I can trace and cut it out. I'll be using a drill and some other materials and tools you might have laying around the house. And it is gonna look something like this. Now my plan is to use 1/2" MDF and even as small as a 1/4" thick MDF. Also, the customer wanted this one to have lights on it and glow, and I think I'm gonna put it on the back of the sign so it glows like not against the wall, but out from the wall, so it really draws your attention to it. I hope you guys stick around through this whole process and through this whole video. I guess without any further ado, let's get into it. So I got everything traced out in black Sharpie, and now it's time to do all the cuttings. And side note, I'm going to be cutting out this part of the sign on 1/4" MDF just to give it a little more dimension and more layers. It'll just add some depth, I think, to the sign, and I think it'll make it look really cool. Let's get to cutting. All right, so all the letters and the layers are cut out, and I actually added another 1/2" piece on this bottom layer just to make it thicker than the letters. I think it'll look better personally, so I went ahead and did that. And as you can see, this is the top part of that back layer, and underneath this, I cut out a piece a little bit bigger than the overall shape of this piece on top. The reason I did that was so I could take my flush router bit. I'm gonna run that router along this edge so it bumps up against this, and it cuts off this piece so it leaves the same edge. So it's gonna be like seamless, it should be. But all I did to secure that was I put glue on both pieces of the MDF, and then just because I'm extra cautious and I just don't like things to ever break that I make, I went ahead and got some panel board screws, MDF screws, and I pre-drilled some holes, and I countersank those, and I secured them with the glue and the screws because I don't want this piece ever coming apart. You don't want to see gaps in it when you're hanging it on the wall. You don't want to see that. So I take the extra steps, probably unnecessary, but I just take those steps anyways to ensure that the quality of this will last and the product will last. So let's get to routing this and making this all flush.
One eternity later.
All right, a couple things. First, I wasn't crazy of how this Rust-Oleum primer was going on. Even after I put that putty on the edges, that part was fine, but I wasn't too crazy of how like the top of the MDF was looking. So I went and got some Rust-Oleum filler primer, which they say is better on the edges and on the top because it kind of fills in the pores a little bit, because MDF is pretty porous. So I plan on going over everything with a coat of this, and then I'm just gonna go on top of it with this primer after that, just because I have the primer and there's no sense in wasting it. So I'm gonna do this and then this. So basically 2 coats of primer. I would just recommend getting this, I believe. Don't even waste your time with normal primer, get the filler primer. And then the other thing, I cut out a piece of MDF and secured it to the back, and this is gonna be the lights, the LED lights. This is where it's gonna be mounted to, if that makes sense. I didn't want the lights facing like towards the wall when it hangs on the wall. I wanted it to shine out. So I made this extra piece of MDF, but I did that, and hopefully the LED lights will look really good on this, shining out instead of back. I didn't use wood glue for the back of this because of the primer that was already on it. I didn't know if it would stick that well to it. So I went ahead and got some DAP contact cement. Basically this stuff sticks anything together. You put it on both sides and clamp it together, and that's what I did and screwed it. So I don't know which one works the best, if wood glue or contact cement works better in MDF, but they probably work both really well, but use what you need for each situation. for that to dry now and then do a light sanding before I put on the coat of the white primer. And while I wait for that to dry, I have all of these to Dremel the corners and edges and sand the rest of these letters. So it's gonna be fun. This is the fun part, quote unquote fun. It's just not the fun part. It's the time consuming part, but the end result from this, it's gonna be much better than if you didn't do this step, I promise you. So I got everything primed with 2 coats, and in between the 2 coats, I did a light sanding. And then after that second coat, I also did another light sanding on everything just to ensure that the paint goes on flat and smooth. So let's get ready and do a couple coats of paint on the letters and on the sign itself, and then we'll wait for that to dry. So everything's painted. I got 2 to 3 coats on everything. And now it's time for the glue up. And I'm actually gonna be using this Loctite extreme glue. I was gonna use wood glue, but I wasn't exactly sure if the wood glue would like adhere to the painted surface very well since it's paint and not wood. So what I did is on the back side of the letters, I just wiped some wood glue on the back so it wouldn't be as porous, so the Loctite wouldn't just soak in there, so it has something to sit on. And one more thing I did that I didn't do on camera, I just did it really quick, was I just routed a hole, a space in here for the LED power to sit in, so that way the cords will be hidden from the wall and won't be just dangling from the bottom. You can hide it like kind of a TV. So let's get some letters on this baby. the letters are on and glued to the sign, and then the satin clear is sprayed on top of it, and it looks awesome. And now it is time for, I guess, the pièce de résistance, the lights on the back, and I got those off Amazon. I can leave the link for those in the description below for the exact ones I went with, but I think they're gonna look really great. They have kind of like a dimmer switch on the back that you could connect to it. So yeah, I'm gonna get all the lights put on and wrapped around the back side and secure the extension cord and all that stuff with it so it stays hidden. And that should be it, guys. The one thing I will say with this glue, I'm not super familiar with it. This was my first time using it. I know Loctite makes great products, but I never used this glue for something like this before. It seems really sturdy, actually. It doesn't seem like it's gonna break off or anything. It seems like it's stuck on there well. Now, obviously, if you drop the sign or something or anything like that and does damage to the sign, a letter's gonna fall off. Like, that's probably gonna happen no matter what glue you use. So if you were transporting this and shipping it to somebody, I would recommend putting a couple particle screws in the back, from the back side, securing them on even more with the glue. That's what I usually do. I didn't do it on this one because I knew it was going inside and I knew it was going to a client in the local area. So I didn't have to worry about that. But if you're shipping it, anything like that, transporting it a long ways, I would just recommend putting some screws through the backside, connecting some of the letters. The smaller ones you don't have to worry about, but like the big letters, stuff like that, I would put screws in if you are transporting. But other than that, it looks great so far, and I think it's gonna look awesome in the end, and I can't wait to show you guys. So let's get these lights on.